Hello everyone. In my last video, I spoke about what is a build and how a build is shared. So today I'll be explaining the different file formats of a build and how to install the build on different type of devices and the OS used in each of these devices. So this is important to know the file format of the build. Sometimes this is also a commonly asked interview question like what is the file format of a build for Android mobile or iOS. So today I'll discuss about Android mobile, iPhone and Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, Samsung TV and LG TV. The process I'll explain about installing the build will be solely based on my experience, what are the tools I have used. So there might be like some other ways also to install apps in this type of devices which I am not aware of. So in this video what I'll explain is based on my experience in my career, whatever I have used. So if we talk about the file format of an Android mobile, whenever you will receive a build, the file format will be in .apk file. If you are working on an iPhone, iPad and Apple TV and you have received a build for that, the file format will be .ipa. For Android TV, it will be .apk. For Fire TV, it is same as .apk. But remember this, the build you will receive for Android mobile, that is of .apk format. If you are trying to use that in Android TV, though the app will install, but you won't be able to open the app. So remember that, like, though the file format is same, the application structure will be different. So for Android mobile and Android TV, different build will be shared. It is not like the same apk file will be shared that you can install for all of these devices, Android mobile, Android TV and Fire TV. So remember that. And for Fire TV also it is a .apk file. For Samsung TV, either it will be WGT, .wgt or .tmg file, and for LG TV, it is .ipk file. So sometimes when you are testing, like the ask will be to do the testing on a production build that is already available in the App Store. So that time the build will not be shared. So if the requirement is like that, if they are telling you to do the testing on a production build which is already released, so you can just go for Android mobile, like suppose you're testing, so you can go and download it from the Play Store. For iPhone, iPad and Apple TV, it is like the apps are available in App Store, it can be downloaded from App Store. Android TV similarly Play Store is there. For Fire TV, Samsung TV and LG TV, so all of these has their different App Store. You can just go and search for the application. If it is available in the store, you can download and start your testing. So on that scenario, the build will not be shared. So it will be clearly mentioned like where you will get the app, from where you have to do the testing. If we talk about the device OS, so everyone knows about Android mobile and iPhone, iPad. So Android mobile, it is like Android OS. For iPhone, iOS is used, that is the software used in iPhone. For iPad, iPad OS is used. For Apple TV, it is tvOS. For Android TV, again it is same Android, but it is optimized for television use. So though it is Android, the software is like not exactly same like Android mobile. It is different. It is optimized for television TV use. For Fire TV, the software that is being used is Fire OS. For Samsung TV, it is Tizen OS, and for LG TV, it is Web OS. So if you are like getting into any company and the devices that you will be using will based on the project that company is working on. So mostly like most of the companies works the project will be on Android and iPhone. And if it is some like you are working on a OTT based project, so that time like this TV devices will be there to test. And when you will receive the build, how you will install the build on your device. So in my last video I spoke a little bit about Android mobile. Today I'll like speak about all these devices. So for if it is an Android mobile, you can just like transfer the file to mobile, like you can connect your cable and transfer the file to a mobile. You can just like tap on that dot apk file and it will be installed on the Android mobile. Or it can be like through adb command also. So adb is basically Android debug page. So there are separate commands using which, like many commands are there using which, like we can take logs, we can install application, and many other uses are there. So later we'll discuss about all the use cases that can be like performed using the ADB, Android Debug Page. It is a very powerful tool for iPhone, iPad, and Apple TV. So if any .apk file is shared, so that time in iPhone, iPad, and Apple TV, we can install that application. So that time we can either use Apple configurator, not either, sorry, we have to use Apple configurator to install the application. And sometimes what will happen in like this type of devices, like in iPhone, iPad, and Apple TV, most of the time they will not share the build, like a file they will not share. So rather what they will do is they will push that to test flight. So test flight is basically an application available in these devices. So we can just open test flight, and like that application will be there. We have to check the version, so all the versions of the application, like whatever builds are there, it will be there. So based on the version mentioned on that like particular like scenario you're working on, we have to install that particular build. So if .ipa file is shared for this, then we have to use Apple configurator to install the application. And if it is like pushed through test flight, it is like very easy. We just have to open test flight. Test flight is nothing but an application available in this type of devices. There a download option will be there, we have to just download it. So in my later video, like I'll create a separate video about this test flight and Apple configurator, how the build will be installed. In Android TV, like again ADB commands. ADB is for all the Android based devices, we can use like Android ADB commands, and to it is very easy to install the app using ADB commands. So Android TV, we can just give some commands, and the build will be installed on Android TV. Or you can take the build to a USB and connect that USB to Android TV and install it. In Fire TV, similarly, we can use ADB command and push the build to the device. In Samsung TV, so there are two type of files in Samsung TV. So as we like discussed, WGT and TMG. So if a WGT file is shared, that time we have to use Tizen Studio. So Tizen Studio is a different software. We have to set up the software and install our WGT file. Basically, we have to push the WGT file through Tizen Studio. So we cannot directly just take the file and install it on the TV. Using Tizen Studio, you have to push that. And if it is a .tmg file, that time we can use USB. So whenever a .tmg file is created, the developer or the team responsible for sharing the build, they will also share a license. So this tmg file requires a license along with it. Without the license, the build will not be installed. So when we receive the tmg file and the license along with it, we can put this two in the USB file, and we can create a folder. So that will discuss the what else should be the folder name and all, we'll discuss later. So that we can just we can insert the USB, and the build will be installed on the TV, Samsung TV. And if it is a LG TV, so whenever the .ipk file is shared, we have to use either WebOS, ID, or CLI. So using both of these, we can install the application in LG TV. So what I'll do is I'll create separate videos for all of these, like in Android mobile. It will be better if I create like short videos showing the process how we'll push the build. So I might not be able to show you the like exact process, because don't have the builds of all these devices. So I can just show the process, like the commands that we have to use, how to set up. But exactly I'll explain. You just whenever, like if you're working on that, you just have to paste that build or the build link there, and it will be installed on those devices. So I'll clearly explain those in other videos. So for now, that's all. Thank you everyone.